ਹੱਸਦਾ ਏ ਸਮਾਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਕੌਣ ਕਿਦੇ ਮੇਚਦਾ ਟੁੱਟਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਦੇਖੇ ਰਾਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜੋ ਸੁਪਨੇ ਹਮਾਏ ਤੇਰਾ ਪੁੱਤੇ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਖੁੱਲੀਆਂ ਚ ਦੇਖਦਾ ਹੋ ਮੇਰੇ ਚ ਪਿਆਸ ਪਾਣੀਆਂ ਪਿਆਉ ਚੱਲ ਕੇ ਟਿਕਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਵਾਲੀ ਮੱਲ ਕੇ ਹੋ ਅੱਜ ਛੱਡ ਉਹਦਾ ਕੁਝ ਕੱਲ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣਦਾ ਮਿਹਨਤ ਤੋਂ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਨਿਗਾਹ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਫਲ ਤੇ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਨੇ ਰੰਗ ਨਿਤ ਨਵੇਂ ਹੀ ਦਿਖਾਉਣੇ ਆ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਫੜਾਉਣੇ ਹੱਥ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਛਡਾਉਣੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਸਭ ਸਾਵੇਂ ਹੱਥ ਜਦੋਂ ਅੰਬਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਾਉਣੇ ਫਿਰ ਖੜ ਕੇ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਤੱਕਿਓ
ਆਓ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਸਭ ਸੱਚ ਵੀਰੇ ਜੋ ਜੋ ਤੂੰ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਤੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਬਸ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਬੀਤੀਆਂ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਪੈਂਦੇ ਸਾਲੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਡੰਗ ਮਾਰਦੇ ਆ ਬੁੱਕਲਾਂ 'ਚ ਖੇਡਦੇ ਆ ਸੱਪਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਨੀਤੀਆਂ ਇੱਕ ਸੀਗਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਲੋਕ ਤਾਨੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਕੱਸਦੇ ਆ ਮਿਡਲ ਕਲਾਸ ਬੰਦਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸੀਗੇ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਆ ਪੈਸੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੱਜ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਔਕਾਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਕਲ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਬਾਈ ਆਖ ਕੇ ਸੀ ਹੱਸਦੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਬਾਈ ਉਹ ਤੂੰ ਗੇਮਾਂ ਦੇਖੀ ਪੈਂਦੀਆਂ ਕਰਦਾ ਜੋ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਇਹ ਸਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹ ਰਹਿੰਦੀਆਂ ਜੁੱਤ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਜੰਗ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੀ ਜਿੱਤਣੇ ਨੂੰ ਪੱਲਿਆ ਮਕਾਮ ਇੱਥੇ ਸ਼ਕਲਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੈਂਦੀਆਂ ਉਹੀ ਹੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਰੀਤ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੀ ਚੇਂਜ ਹੋਈ ਪੱਲੇ ਸੀਗਾ ਸਾਈਕਲ ਤੇ ਸਾਈਕਲ ਤੋਂ ਰੇਂਜ ਹੋਈ ਮਾਰਦੀ ਆ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਸਾਲੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਤਾਂ ਵੇਲੀ ਐ ਹੁਣ ਦੇਖ ਜਿੱਤੀ ਰੋੜੀ ਉੱਤੇ
Hi all, welcome to Chess 24/7 and we're encountering another stream for the weekend and we are back. We're playing with black pieces. One sec. Yeah, this should be good. Okay, so we're good to go, I believe. Yeah. Okay, so we're playing with black pieces here and my opponent has captured on f5. One second. Yeah, okay, so my opponent has captured on f5. Now I can capture back on f5. And then I'll be having a bishop versus 2 extra pawns. Yeah. Although this pawn chain is a little dangerous, but then because I have a pawn on f5 and h5, I think it should not be that tough. Also, this pawn on f2 is kind of, it cannot move to f3 or f4 because then the g pawn would fall. So yeah, I think it makes sense to capture on f5. And now the idea is to go to king e5, capture on f5. The other idea could be for black could be to go to king f6, preventing king e5. However, after king f6 he can go for king d6, at which point of time I have got bishop b4 check, but then king d7, and still my bishop needs to be on this diagonal to avoid e7. The other idea could be if I just capture on f2, king goes to e5, I capture on g3 with check, he captures on f5, and then I capture on h4, and then he goes for king g6. I capture the pawn and then he captures the pawn. Hi Ritikesh, nice to have you on stream. So yeah, I think that could lead to a draw. And what about the simple bishop c3, preventing king coming to e5? I think this looks very interesting because I will be able to outrun him in terms of the moves, because I can just keep moving my bishop on this diagonal, and eventually he'll be required to give up this pawn on e6 because the king will be required to move and get rid of the protection of this bishop in this pawn on e6 in some way or the other. So yeah, that looks pretty interesting. Bishop c3 here. Yeah, 1 second. Yeah, I think the music was a little too loud, but yeah, bishop c3 is what I'm thinking about. Let's go for this. Awesome. Okay, so we started on a good note and we are playing with white pieces now. We have got f5 check. My king is not that safe because it's closer to my enemy pawns. Although I am threatening him with queen f8 mate. So anyhow, I have got got like 4 options. I can capture on, or rather, I have got 3 options with my king and 1 with my queen. I can go for queen f5. I think black would be happy to exchange queens because then he'll be just winning this position, right? So queen f5 is out. Now I can go for king h5, king f4, and king g5. Yeah. Hmm. Let's see. King h5, I think it's not good because that involves queen e2 check, and then king g5 or h4. It's not good because then he can just involve some action with the pawns. And what about king goes to g5? I'm still threatening queen f8. Because even if he goes for something like h6 check, I can still go for king g6, and luckily there are no checks available, and then the black king is doomed. But I can also go for king h4. The only problem after h4 is rook f4 maybe. Check. If I capture with one of the pawns, maybe e pawn. I think I'm still safe, right? So my point is king g5 and king h4. They both are equally good in my opinion because then my opponent does not have any good checks available. Okay, maybe bishop f4 could be a problem at king g5. So king h4 is the best move, I guess. If there's a check with the pawn on g5, in that case maybe king h5, queen e2. I can still go for king h6. Yeah. I think I'll go. Oh yeah, this is interesting. If I go for king g5, yeah, Ritesh, king g5 is not that good because of bishop f4 check, right? If I capture with the g pawn, he has got some ideas with rook g1, and then the queen can also join the attack. So the better move would be king h4 here. Also, if king g5, bishop f4, if I capture with my e pawn, well, that's better, right? King g5, but I'm thinking about king h4. What's the problem with king h4 here? King g5, bishop check, pawn captures, pawn captures. Yeah, I go for king h4 here. Let's see. Oh, is it king? Should be mate, right? Oh wow, yeah, I can't because the queen can then just intervene. Um, then what? What is the solution? Oh, yeah, okay, got it. Let's move on to our next puzzle for the stream. But you know what? Let me just go back and see what's the issue with king h4. That's interesting because king g5. And what's the problem with king h4? Let me just run the analysis here. Wait, it says king. Now he's got an escape square, maybe? Yeah. Yep. You're right, man. Awesome. Okay, awesome. So black was getting some counterplay in that position. Anyhow, let's move on to our next puzzle. We're playing with white pieces here. It's an in-game position. The pawn on h6 is hit. This pawn on c file is also a pass pawn. And my king's position compared to my opponent's king is not that good. Yeah. So one idea could be, and if I go for h7, that is not good because of rook h6 and then win the pawn on h7. Yeah. The other option could be rook f5 check. Let's the king moves and then play rook h5 because then h7 h8 is the threat, right? Then the c pawn is also a cause of concern here, right? So let's say rook f5 check. Let's say the king counterattacks me with king e4, rook h5, king f5 is there, or maybe he can also go for after rook f5. I think king e6 makes sense. The idea is to get to h7 or h8. rook h5, um, king h7, king f7, h7, and then yeah, okay, that's dangerous, right? But the idea is picking rook f5 here, and then play rook h5, right? I don't see any other idea here. Let's go for that. Yeah, king e6 as expected. Now rook h5 should be the move, right? Or I can also go for h7 directly, because if rook h6, then rook h5 is there. Yeah, let's go for this h7 move directly, because if I play h7, he cannot defend the pawn from g8 then, right? Yeah, h7 should be the move here. Also, now I can play rook h5, and this should be winning for white. Yeah, let's move on to our next puzzle, and we're playing with white pieces. Hmm. So there is a opposite side castling. A simple sacrifice could be bishop c7 directly. Let's say king c7, and then I can go for something like a discovery with knight d5 maybe. Yeah, that should be the idea here, right? Bishop c7, king c7, and then we have to figure out, is it knight coming to d5 or b5? Yeah, I guess d5 is better because that covers b6. Also, there's some pressure on f2, indirect pressure, because this bishop is right now hitting d4. Let's see, bishop c7. If bishop d4, then I can go for something like knight e4, protecting f2 also. Yeah, obviously right now I'm protecting the pawn with my king and my queen, but this could be a potential idea. So yeah, bishop c7 is what I'm thinking about. Yeah, now knight d5 should be it, because knight d5 protects b6, right? Um, but knight coming to b5, if king comes to, okay, let's see, knight b5, the king can go to b8, queen c7, king goes to h8, and then I cannot really reach the king, right? So let's say king knight d5 check. If king b8, queen c7 check, king a8, and then I have got knight b6, but then knight b6, there is bishop b6, because knight b6 is not possible because of the queen on f7. I think knight d5 is better here. Knight, but the only point is I don't see the continuation. Knight d5 check, right? The other thing could be he can also go to d6, but then queen c7 is still happening. If he captures on d5, then I have got that's tricky. Hmm. Knight b5 does defend king b6, right? But knight b5, king b6, that should also work, right? Knight b5, the only problem is king b8, queen c7, king a8, king b5. I'm sorry, I didn't get it, Ritikesh. Are you talking about knight b5? Because, one second, there's some issue with my camera, I guess. Yeah, I guess knight b5 is what you're talking about. Yeah, knight b5, but the problem is king b8, queen c7, king a8, and then I don't have any way to continue the attack, you see. But so is the case with knight d5, king b8, queen c7, king a8. Yeah, but then knight b5, king b8. Yeah, I think it's better if you write out the full continuation, because generally that's how we solve the puzzles, instead of making one move suggestions. That will be easier for both of us to understand each other's idea, right? So knight b5 check, king b8, queen c7 check, king a8. Oh wait, the knight d6. And there is no way to defend the queen and the pawn. Yeah, this is better. Yeah, this is better. Awesome. Nice. Let's move on to our next puzzle for the stream. And we are playing with white pieces. So, okay. Yeah, I think after that, king d, knight d6 solves everything. Yeah. So right now, I'm hunting down my opponent's king, but my king is also exposed, right? And these knights can be tricky. So one idea could be I can involve my rook with rook f7 check. Yeah, and then the logical attempt could be after rook f7 he has got only one move with his king, which is king c6, right? And then queen c8 maybe, and then he can, or maybe yeah, rook f7 is the move. I'm very confident about that. Rook f7, king c6, queen e8 check. But then this knight can capture on e8, so that's not available. The idea is to take care of this diagonal as well, right? What if I capture on g7? That would be a check, right? The only problem is he can defend something like knight coming to e7, and then I don't have the time because the queen can just enter on the next move, right? So I have to keep my opponent busy with checks. So yeah, rook f7 is very tempting, but the only problem is I want to bring my rook also to the c file in some variations, but that's not possible. So if I play rook f7 first, yeah. So rook f7, king c6, queen c8, king b5, and then maybe queen d7 check. Yeah, that's better. Let's try with rook f7 here. Come on, is it? What is it? What is it? Oh, wow, I just completely disregarded. I have queen d6 available. My bad. Let's move on to our next puzzle. Yeah. Okay, so it's an endgame puzzle, but luckily our pawns are. I mean, one of my pawns has crossed the middle of the board, so that's good. Okay. Yeah. I think you are a little late. I played my move uh, before you answered queen d6. But yeah, my bad. Did not see queen d6 at all. Yeah, but the idea. So let's focus on this puzzle. So it's an endgame puzzle. I can go for queen b6. Sorry, pawn b6 check. Yeah, and then the king can go to b8, right? And the problem is I have a light square bishop, so I can't control the queening square of that pawn. Yeah. However, king b6, pawn b6 check, king b8. I can still play pawn c7, but that is bad because of bishop, sorry, rook e4, bishop e4, and then king c7, and then it's a draw. Actually, the chat is lagging because I'm using a third party to render my chats. So that's why there's a delay of 15 seconds. I mean, at the moment, I don't have any good solution for it, but yeah, that's a problem. My bad. Or maybe I will use Streamlabs official chat widget. That might give me a seamless stream. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so we're playing with white pieces. Pawn d6 check, king b8. If I play b7, rook e4, bishop e4, and then yeah, okay, then that's better, right? Because I still have the b7 pawn. So yeah, let's go for b6 and b7. That's my idea. Because I don't have anything else, right? I can't push the pawn. The e pawn, my bad. So yeah, let's go for this check. And now I can even move my king because my pawn on e4 is protecting my bishop, right? King c6 with the idea of, I don't know, improving my king's position. b7, king goes to b8, and then it's a little difficult to do anything much about that because the king on b8 cannot move, right? Yeah, yeah. Anyhow, even if I mean I can't really do much about the lag in chat, so I'm not really thinking about that. I'm more focused on the puzzles. Now, one idea could be to play king b5, king a6, king a7, but that's too slow. Yeah. The other idea could be I can just play king d6. Yeah, that prevents a rook coming to the available. King c6, rook e7 will come. Wait, king c6 is what you're saying. Um, but what about king b8? Now, because I can control the queen square for e8, that's what I can do. So yeah, king c6 is my idea. Because other than that, I can't do much about that, right? Rook e7, yeah, okay, that is better. King c6, because if king c6, rook e7, I can still improve my king's position there. But king c6, rook d8, and then I start pushing my e pawn. Yeah, that could be an idea. Oh no, that's king c6. It's not the right move. In this position, I guess the other move could be king d6 as I planned. Let's try king d6. Awesome, that was a correct move. Anyhow, let's move on to our next puzzle. Okay, so we are attacking our opponent's king. So queen f2 check looks real good here. Because if king h1, I can involve rook h4 there. Yeah, but then bishop h3 is there because the queen on d7 is protecting that. Yeah, and then queen f3. Okay, yeah, that is better. I think queen f2 is pretty obvious here. Yeah, and then rook h4 check. Oh no, that's perfectly fine, man. That's perfectly fine. Rook h4. And then he has to intervene with the queen on h3. Rook h. Yeah, let's go for that. There's no reason to even doubt that move. Yeah. And now I can capture on h3. King h3. And then I'm not sure because this pawn is a little dangerous considering the fact that I cannot attack the rook or cannot win the rook. Yeah. So let's see. Rook f4 check. If king h1, yeah, that is better because king f4 check. It does not matter where black. I mean, if white goes to h1, then I capture on h3, bishop h3, and queen f3 check, and then I win the rook, right? So yeah, queen f4. But what about king g1 after queen f4? Then if he captures, I can go for queen g3, but then bishop g2 is already there. Oh no, but queen f3 is still possible, but d7 is a threat, right? Yeah, okay, you know what? I'll go for queen f4 here. Because I can win the queen anytime I want to. And now I can capture on h3. Awesome. Because there would be some forks available in the air. Okay, so we are playing with... yeah, that's correct, Ritikesh. That's what I played. Okay, so there they are. I'm attacking. Okay, my king is relatively safe. Although I am down a full piece. And he's got 4 pawns. I've got 6 pawns. So materially we are almost equal, I would say. But then my opponent's king position is very weak. Yeah. So this involves, I mean, rook c5 is very tempting. Rook c5, queen c5, and then I take the pawn with check. Although also this knight is pretty dangerous. Not at the moment because knight g6 is not available, but yeah, that could be an idea at some point of time. Also, the other rook can also join in. So yeah, rook c5 is what I'm putting my money on to. Rook c5, queen c5, queen d6 check. Let's say he goes to the f file. He goes to. Also, there is queen d6 available, queen e7 available. Yeah, that is something I have to be aware of. Okay, you now reevaluate everything. Rook c5, queen c5, queen d6, queen e7 is always there, and then I don't have anything, right? Um, and what about if I involve my f rook coming to d1? Because if the queen, I mean, the queen has to protect the bishop on c5, right? And also the pawn on d6. And for that, she has to go to e7, right? Hmm. And knight d6 is there. I'm adding more pressure to it, but then it's too slow. Yeah, it's not immediate. Also, I have to be aware that both these rooks are unconnected. So if I can, I mean, I can also attack one of these rooks at some point of time. So yeah, rook c5 looks really interesting. Queen c5, let's say. Rook c5, queen c5, queen d6, queen e7. And then I don't see it. I don't think so. I have anything here. So maybe that's not, I mean, it's not the correct combination. So maybe f rook coming to d1. And now in order to defend the rook and the pawn, queen e7 is played. The problem is I don't have knight e6 because of this knight on e5. Yeah, rook c5 is not working. Right, that's correct. Queen a4 is also not working because he can very easily play bishop c6. Also, this knight is protecting. So even if this queen were not on d6, this knight would be protecting c6. Yeah. Hmm. Okay, wait. This is real bizarre. What I'm going to say, but because the bishop on b7 is kind of pinned, I'm thinking about knight g6, hitting the rook and the knight. So knight g6, and then if I push e5, the queen is hit, so is the bishop. If queen comes to, I don't know, like maybe e5, I can capture on b7. But the problem is I can just castle away, and my bishop on b7 is pinned against my queen on b3. That is something I need to be aware of. I mean, rook f d1 is something I'm considering, but I just don't see the follow up. Yeah, rook f d1. That looks good, right? I mean, I'm putting my rook on an open file, attacking the queen, but queen e7 just solves everything. It defends the bishop on b7, defends the pawn on d6 on e6, and also the bishop on c5. Although yeah, it's overloaded. I do agree, but the queen can go to e7, right? After rook f d1. Yeah, and then it's a little difficult to see how to go about this. But I think rook f d1, queen e7. I'm thinking about knight d6. I mean, I'm getting a pawn, and also the white cannot castle on the king side because my knight would come to c5 with check. So yeah, that is my idea, rook f d1. But then I can capture the pawn on d6 right away. Yeah, because there's some added pressure on c5. And then in order to save the bishop, yeah, I think knight d6 looks good here, right? Knight d6. But knight d6. I just don't know how to go about this, man. Rook f d1 looks good, but knight d6 is better in this position. Yeah, it adds some pressure right away. Hmm. Hmm. I just don't know, man. If I don't see anything, I'm going to go for knight e6 here. Yeah. If queen goes to e7, we can go do knight d6, threatening to win. Yeah, that's what I said. Queen e7, and then I can do that. But why not play knight e6 right away? Um, I guess you mean knight e6 because knight d6 is not possible in this position, right? So we can directly play queen e6, right? Why go for rook fd1? Because rook fd1 does not really help us in any way, right? So knight d6 we can go directly, right? Okay, rook fd1 does allow my rook to come on an open fight, but knight e6 is directly available. Why not go for that? Also, at then some point of time, I can go for knight c7 check if allowed. Right? I'll go for knight e6 directly. Let's see. Wow, is it rook fd1? And I capture. But I just don't see the point. After queen e7, what's the idea here? Okay, this much I did see, but I still don't see the point of fight not capturing it directly on e6 with my knight. Oh, nice, 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 nice. Because now my queen is hit, but what after this? Oh yeah, okay, then I lose everything. Right, awesome. Did not see that one coming. Yeah, 96 is not working directly. Okay, so there are too many pieces involved here. There should be a mate somewhere, or I'm winning something or the other. Um, okay. Oh, it's too tough. I mean, it's not tough. I would say it's more of a little because there are a lot of pieces involved here. I just need to be a little aware. That's about it. Hmm. So I have the bishop pair advantage, but the board is, I would say, semi-closed. I think one idea could be to play b4. The idea is to force open the board, right? b4. If a b4, then I've got bishop coming to d3, d4. Yeah. And let's say if after b4 I get another move, I can capture on c3, and then the pawn on d4 also fall. So yeah, b4 is my idea here. After b4, however, he can go for rook b1. So the other idea could be to capture on h1, bishop h1, and then b4. Yeah, because then there is no rook b1. So that makes sense, right? Rook. I mean, it's not a tactical idea; rather it's more of a strategy to think about. But I just don't see any of the moves, right? So rook h1 and b4 is what I'm thinking about. If I directly play b4, rook b1 is there. Yeah, and now b4. Because if I don't play b4, I just don't see how. But the problem is after b4, he can go for knight a4, check. But then I have got king a7, and then I will be out of checks, right? Uh, but is there anything apart from b4 that I'm missing out on? Yeah, I'll go for b4 maybe. Let's. I mean, I don't see anything else here. Yeah. Well, one idea could be to play rook h8. If king bishop g2, then I can go for rook h2 with the idea of bishop h3. But that is too far fetched, right? Because if I play rook h8, king g1 is always there, or maybe queen coming to e1, that is also there. So yeah, let's go for b4. This is rook h. What is it? What's the solution? Oh wow, I'm threatening rook a2 there. Oh, awesome. Let's move on to our next puzzle for the day. So we're playing with white pieces. Okay. Hmm. Okay. So the bishop is bishop on b5 is hit. All that's defended, well defended, I would say at this point of time. But my opponent's king is in the center of the board, right? I mean, I can win the f7 pawn right away, but I guess it's the puzzle is more than winning the f7 pawn. Yeah. So what about bishop d7, king d7, and then what do I have? I don't have anything, right? Can we somehow influence the queen to get rid of the protection of this pawn, of this bishop on d3? I just don't see the way directly. So maybe knight e3. If queen comes to c3, then what? So knight e3 allows queen c3. Also, there's some pressure on c7, right? I have to be aware of that as well, right? Somehow, if I can involve my queen on c7, that would be great. Okay. Bishop a4 and the queen would be trapped. Bishop a4. Oh wow, I just did not see this. Yeah, bishop a4 does trap the queen. That's oh wait, bishop a4, yes, it does work, right? Just did not see this. Wow, that is awesome. Because every other square is kind of covered by all my pieces, right? Awesome. But they can counter. Yeah, let's go for bishop a4 first of all. Yeah, obviously they will counter attack me, and the point of this counter attack is to cover c8. Yeah, can we somehow play bishop? Now queen e3 should do the trick here, right? Also, I can capture on g5. Let's just play. I don't know. Should I capture the queen on the pawn on g5? This queen is still attacked, right? But then okay. I mean, I just don't see the point of not capturing the pawn. I'm getting a pawn, right? Because the queen is still trapped. I'm just thinking about queen g5. How can black respond and get my queen off this triangle? This is what I'm thinking about. But I can also go for bishop queen e3 directly. Awesome. So we get the queen. But I'll see what's the problem with bishop queen g5. Why should I not capture the pawn? Let's see. Oh yeah, then he can just yeah, he gets some counterplay maybe with this move. And then he can escape. Awesome. Wow. By the way, thanks Ritikesh. Queen e5. Thanks a lot for helping me. That puzzle was I wasn't able to solve that puzzle without your help. Yeah. Anyhow, we're playing with white pieces here. Yeah. Okay. So my opponent's king is not in a good shape, right? I mean, I can capture on d6, queen d6 is there, but that just allows him to consolidate his position, right? Although this knight on c3 is kind of pain. Also, I have not castled yet. Okay, let's see a3. a3, I hit the queen. The queen needs to protect the bishop on d6, right? And for that to do, she'll go to c5 and then b4. I still attack the queen. And then queen c7 is there. And bishop d6, queen d6, and then queen c7. Sorry, bishop knight b5, and then there's no way to defend knight c7. Yeah, let's go for this. Okay, yeah, that is also possible. And now knight a4. I attack the queen once again. If queen comes to a5 check, I have got b4 there. Bishop b4, pawn b4, queen b4, and then knight c3. Even if we have knight e4, I have ample of I can defend the knight on c3 again in this castle, right? So yeah, knight a4 should be the move here. Or I can also capture on d6, queen d6, and then knight b5. Yeah, and then there is no good way to defend c7. Or is it? I don't see it, right? So knight a4 looks good, but even better is bishop d6, queen d6, and knight b5. How does it defend knight c7 check? I don't see it. Yeah. Awesome. Let's move on to our next puzzle. So we're playing with black pieces here, and we are in the end game. So this a pawn is a pass pawn. But these two pawns I have to be aware of. Obviously, I cannot capture on c5 because then b7, and I cannot stop the b pawn. So I can go for c. Also, I have to be aware that I have to be in this particular square. I can't get away from this square. So maybe king c6, because a4 is the idea. So yeah, a6 should, king c6 should be the idea here. And now I have to, I guess, capture. I can also go for pawn e4, which was also fine. The idea is not to allow him to capture. So let's say if I play a4, he can capture on e5, right? And then these two pawns, along with this pawn on b6, it will be difficult for my king to do anything. So I can capture on f4, but king f4 is there. I just let him improve his king's position. What about e4? I can close the position, right? And then if king g5, a4, a3 is the idea there. If I can also capture on f4, but king f4, right? I think the computer would suggest taking on I'll go for e4 here. That looks more. It's into the theme of the puzzle, right? Awesome. Okay, so let's move on to our next puzzle for the day. Awesome. Okay, so there is some pressure on f6. The idea over here could be rook h5. If rook h5, queen f6, check. Yeah, Ritikesh, e4 is the move, or was the move rather, I should say. So yeah, rook h5, queen f6, check. And then if king goes to g8, knight e7 is also there. Hmm. I'll go for rook h5 here. Come on, I thought it will give me some play. Anyhow, let's move on. Wait, is it? Oh yeah, I get the king then. Ah, it was such a rookie mistake of me. Anyhow, let's move on to our next puzzle. Can't do much about what has happened in the past, yeah. Um. Okay, so my queen is defending e2. So rook c1 should be the move here, right? We attack the queen, the defender of the bishop on b5. So rook c1 should be the move here. Um. Okay. Thanks for giving me that that much of respect by saying this, by putting so in front of my name. But yeah, I am 20. I'll be what? 28 this year? Yeah, I'll be 28 this year. How about you, man? How old are you? Rook dc1 should be the move here. Come on, why doesn't this work? What solution? But then what's the problem with? Oh yeah, it doesn't allow rook f1. My bad. Oh really? You're 14? That's great, man. That's real great. Anyhow, you know what? I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to solve this last puzzle for the stream because I got some work at my home. So let's see if we can solve this particular puzzle before we end today's puzzle, and then we'll see how to go about this. Yeah. I mean, I wanted to reach 2500. I mean, I've been wanting to reach 2500 for almost a year now in my chess puzzle rating, but I always end up in mid 2450. But anyhow, let's call it a day. Let's try to solve this last puzzle for the stream. Can I? Can you play with me? Okay, you know what? We can go for that. Do you play on chess? Why don't you, put your username in the chat, and I will throw you a challenge right away. Yeah. What say? Meanwhile, let's just focus on the puzzle, right? So yeah, rook h8 check, knight g8 could be an idea. Yeah, awesome. We can definitely have a game, man. But just don't beat me, man. It will be so embarrassing losing to a 14-year-old kid live on stream. Rook h8, knight g8, rook e6. Rook e6 is not possible because of queen e6. I get the knight on g8. Um, the other idea could be rook e6, rook e6, rook h8. If knight g8, I get the rook there. Yeah, your username is okay. My bad. Let me. It's pretty big username. Okay. Let me just duplicate this site so that I can come to that puzzle later on. And what's it? UL ULTIM Ultima Ultimate underscore SHIJO. Okay, yeah. Luckily you're online as well. Let's issue him a challenge. Yeah. I'm going to go for. Whether 10-minute game be okay with you? Let me know. Yeah. Anyhow, guys. Okay, I'm only 1700 rapid. Thank you. You'll beat my things. I, man, I have lost to people who were like 1500 on leeches. So you definitely have some good chance against me. I'm just praying to God that I don't, you don't just beat me like that. Anyhow, we're playing with black pieces. Let's see what Ritikesh has for us. Okay, let's go for my favorite D6. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Nice. Hmm. Okay, let's see if now Queen D2 could be an idea. Okay, fine. If that is not what's happening, then let's just carry on with our plan of I mean, this bishop is a little annoying also. I want to go for e5. Previously that was not possible. Okay, let's see. Also, this bishop looking at S7 is a little annoying. Is a little annoying for me at the moment. Mhm. Hmm. Okay, so this pawn is pinned. He's attacking this pawn here. I can go for knight d6. How do I go about this? Okay, let's just save the pawn and everything. Okay, guys, I'll be back in a moment. I guess I'm I have someone at the door. Okay, so this is a pretty not so good position. I'm losing a rook, and I also lost a pawn right away. Okay, so at least I get that annoying bishop. And I have the so-called bishop advantage. I thought I had, but I don't know. Um, okay. Hmm. Okay. So definitely I need to do something about my pieces. I need to coordinate them, otherwise white will just win. Okay, let's just go for that. Mhm. So we do have some weakness around the king on the queen side. Not sure how we are going to take advantage of that, but yeah. Let's see. Hmm. Oh wait, you know what? I was just afraid of this move. Let's see. Hmm. Now at least he has got double pawns, and I'm down just by a piece. Okay, so this is a lone pawn. Now he has got rook f5 check. That's fine because he can't do much about this e pawn, and I can go for a draw. Or should I? Let's see. I don't think so. He can improve the position. Or let's see. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Yep, let's accept the draw. I think it's a shame on me. I'm getting a drawn position by 1700. But anyhow, that happens. Let's see. Let me just go to the analysis board. Let's see where I went wrong. Okay, I did not turn on the angel. Let's see. Yeah, c6 is what the computer is suggesting. Oh wow, yeah, I just did not see that he can capture on g6 right away. Awesome, I should have seen that, man. I think in this position, I was happy because I have 2 pieces for a rook. And I deliberately played queen coming to g5 because I wanted him to capture on e6, thinking that he will be winning a piece there. But yeah, let's see how should I have played in the end game? But yeah, it's a drawish position. The engine is saying it's 0.0. So yeah, anyhow, maybe I still need to work on my opening. And yeah, anyhow, let's come back to our puzzle. I could have captured directly. Yeah, you should have. Okay, so this is going to be a last puzzle for the stream before we call it a day. Yeah, so I can capture on e6, right? I'm thinking about capturing on e6, rook e6, and then rook h8. Or what about rook h8, knight g8, rook e6? Yeah, I think it is rook h8 here. And now capturing here, what? What's our solution? Awesome. Anyhow, you know what? Let's call it a day. It's been pretty overwhelming. Yeah, I guess let's call it a day, and I'll see you guys next week. Till then, take care, and yeah. I think my bad. You played really well. The opening, I am not sure what opening you went for. Probably you can check it with the engine, but you really did play a decent opening. And I think you went wrong with I think you should have forced an exchange as soon as you were having a rook for your two pieces. Yeah. But anyhow, let's call it a day, and I'll see you guys next week.